Brenda with Midlife Single. Thank you for joining us on our first official podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about COVID and how it's affecting our lives. And I'm really excited to have Steve on the show today, moderating this topic. And so I'm going to turn it over to Steve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this first show for Brenda and Sean and everybody. Good to see everybody. Who hasn't COVID affected? Everybody we know from around the world, from the Netherlands to Michigan to Tucson, Arizona to Bend, Oregon. Glad to have everybody. And we're going to kind of meander through some questions and get your thoughts on what's going on with you and your world, relationships, and things like that. Let's go with the first topic real quick. What is the pulse and climate where you are living with regarding COVID? Constance, you want to go first?
Sure, and you can call me Connie. So I work at the university here in Tucson, and it's a very interesting situation. We're not on campus any longer. Everything went from being in classrooms to being online, and it's kind of a very mixed response, because there are some younger people who are very kind of laissez-faire about, oh, this isn't a real thing, oh, this isn't such a big thing. And then there are people who don't get closer than 6 feet to me. I'm really afraid of this. I've got a mask. I've got my gloves. I've got my shield. And so it's really, really mixed here, I think.
Graham, real quick, you're overseas.
Yes.
Just has it affected people over there like you think maybe we think that it's affected people here?
Quite possibly. The strange thing is we could almost see it coming towards us, because it started in southern Europe and I'm in the northwestern part of Europe, and it's like we were waiting for this tidal wave to hit us, and that was a weird feeling. The Dutch are not quite as OCD as other nations when it comes to dealing with stuff like this. Germany, I believe, is much more strict, but that's a difference in the character of the people. But we do have, basically, they've closed bars and restaurants and places like that, gyms, sports centres, all of that is closed. Kids are not in school, but kids will be going back progressively in the next couple of months, I believe. But people are taking it seriously, but life seems to be continuing as far as I can see.
Probably a little bit boring, but continuing.
Boring, that's a bloody good word for it, yes.
we're all confined in our own little confines. Real quick, is it Blea? Could you tell me how it is in the Northwest, where it kind of almost started in the Washington area? You're not in Washington, but you're in Oregon.
I'm in Central Oregon, right in the middle in Bend. And I went out to Costco and Whole Foods. I try to go every 2 weeks and stock up. And it was about 50-50. I was really shocked at the people that weren't wearing masks. And I had a hat on and my glasses and my mask and my sanitizer. And I felt like it was a little 50-50. There were a lot of people that were just like walking too close to me, and but it's pretty quiet. You hear a car going down the street and it's like, oh, who's that? Who's driving? But yeah. And then, I have a 20-year-old son who in the beginning was kind of one of those kids that they weren't really taking it that seriously, but now he does. And he also works at FedEx, which is scary to me.
Wow.
He handles packages, and so he comes home, washes up, changes his clothes, showers, and it's weird. It's weird out there.
The climate for sure has changed over the last few weeks, because as we get on, we get more serious, and then we're kind of almost releasing the serious to almost opening it up, a trickle. Jana, are you in Tucson, and how has it affected you? You're not in Tucson.
I'm in Portland.
Portland. Oh,
Yeah.
So you're in the same area. So do you see the same similarity with Maya?
Well, I live out on an island, so I work in Portland, and I live I live on Sauvie Island, and I've pretty much, I'm working from home, and I'm not going into town that often. It kind of freaks me out. Just like what I'm hearing is there's people that are covered head to toe. They're in the stores, shopping with masks and gloves. And then you have the parent with the toddlers in the shopping cart, like they're out for a regular trip. And it literally freaks me out. I just would rather order off of Amazon, Target, and stay home. And out here we're finding everybody's either fishing, sightseeing, boating, canoeing. So the island has been overrun by people, which is freaky too, because I want to stay home and it's crazy out here.
Little do you know, Janet, that we're all on an island right now, in our own island.
Yeah.
So Sean, I know your your business is helping people constantly online and in social media. How has it affected you? You probably don't see anybody anyway, but you're dealing with them people every day.
Right. And, the first, when was it, Monday the 6th, for me personally was, I labeled as Black Monday. Within 20 minutes, I had, calls from some of my biggest clients, and a huge chunk of my business was gone almost immediately. I told them, each one of them, that I was just going to work for them at no cost until all this, blows by, because, but without them, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm at now. I'm taking this seriously. This is something that I'm not, just kind of laissez-faire about, but I'm not going to let it, how much I see it as an opportunity, to be honest. I hate to put it that way, but it's an opportunity for me to be in my office and work on my skills and learn something new. And I'll be honest, it's like this last 2 weeks have been the biggest growth spurt of my business, because I'm in here 12 to 15 hours a day, and without baseball, I got nothing to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I hate to use the word opportunity, but as a business owner, this is an opportunity to really accelerate all the things I wanted to put in place by this year or next year, whatever. And I 8 new clients. I'm in 10 different states now, and it's ridiculous. But people are on social media, and that's what I specialize, social media marketing, more than ever. So, I'm in high demand now. I am taking it seriously. I know this is unprecedented times, but if I have the mentality that woe is me from a business perspective, I didn't get a stimulus check, I didn't get any assistance, and I'm literally 1,200 feet too far south from a downtown grant or loan, to be eligible for that. So I got no choice but to work my butt off and continue to grow.
So no wonder you're skinny. You're not charging anybody. You have no money to eat. I get it now.
I have this special lens on there.
That reduces weight.
Hey,
it puts 10 pounds on me, it takes 10 pounds off of you. I get it. Hey, Brenda, besides creating this environment that we're on today, how has it affected you? Because I know you're out and about in Phoenix doing some hustling for your own business.
Yeah, so it's kind of business as usual for me. We have a real estate company. I'm going to plug myself, called Arizona Housing Solutions. But we, as far as leisure travel goes, that's completely dead for us right now. Our corporate travel, we still trickles in. It's still not like it has ever been before, And then real estate market, though, in Tucson here is actually still kind of booming. Stuff is still selling, still going on the market. People are still buying stuff. I don't know how necessarily it is in the rest of the country, but here we're still doing okay. The weirdest thing for me, I think, is that the other day I was at the store and I walked in and I almost did a play. I had to get my playbook out because I saw people standing close together and I was like, how am I going to get past those people without getting past them? How am I going to dodge and, get to the vegetables? And, it was just so weird to feel like that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But
don't you feel that we're kind of making more eye contact now because we've got to see where people are going or where they're going to be, and you kind of try to be nice, but you don't want to be nice because you don't want to get close.
Yes,
true.
Yes, very true. Yeah, lots of eye contact, lots of smiles. I see people smiling and kind of nodding, which is kind of cool because people never did that before. But yeah, it's just weird,
Right. We have a new guy here. Renu's joined us. Glad to see you, Renu.
How are you guys?
Good to see
Hi,
you.
Renu.
Let's
Good to
kind
see
of
you.
transition.
How are you?
Let's kind of transition with Renu. What worries you the most about COVID and maybe your business or life in general?
Okay, so life in general is a balance. I'm happy about certain things, and I'm scared about a lot of things. So business, holy shit! You want to take a big fall? I do weddings, and we have an event center, and we basically live on about 3 to 6 months a year, and it's the good weather months, so March, April, May. So we lost pretty much 50% of our income for a year, for people that can't do weddings, and I feel bad for them. At the same time, like we've invested time and effort to plan their weddings. We've done a lot of things for them, and we want to make it right. At the same time, we can't afford to just hang in there without promise for future, and they want to rebook, but rebooking is dates are finite, so there's only so many Saturdays in March, so many Fridays in April, and yeah, it's been tough. My friends are all
Go ahead. Go ahead.
lots of friends in the restaurant industry. I'm a foodie. I love food and drink, and I feel for all my restaurant people. We get some positive notes coming up soon, but
Totally get it. With that transition, I think we've all had to learn how to punt or kind of improvise with what we do and maybe learned a little about ourselves. But we'll get down to that. But have you guys had to kind of reinvent yourself on the fly, and maybe how it helps you?
yeah, me personally, definitely. I'm great at that, and so I'm personally at a friend's house, and we're making masks and helping her out. She's just sew wedding dresses, and now she's sewing masks. I've got friends in the restaurant industry. I'm trying to put together a TV show that will make them be inspired to make food that'll make you guys enjoy what you're eating at home. So yeah, so it's good. It's bad. It's a great reset, but at the same time, like I've never thought that we would live through something like this, where where loved ones are dying, where family members can't say. But my parents live right next door to me. I live on a house, and I can't go into their house. I don't want to. Like, I'm exposed to other people, so I don't want to expose them to them.
Jana, what do you feel? Are you kind of transitioning to other things or learning more about yourself?
Well, I'm in the fitness industry, and so all my trainers are trying to transition into learning to train remotely. Some want to do it, some have just like shut down. We're offering online classes now instead of people coming into the gym, but again, now you have to get instructors that feel comfortable in front of a camera by themselves in their living room because they can't come to the gym. I'm working strictly from home instead of out of my office, and I met with 5 people a day. I did consultations, and now it is very different. I'm doing all the social media, which I think Sean understands. It's constant. It starts at 6 in the morning, and it's a constant all day. The joke is, what Chris was saying is, how many classes did you take today? Because I'm not taking them, but I'm doing watch parties on my account, and everybody's like, wow, you must be really fit. And it's like, no, I'm just pushing classes. Yeah, it's a whole different world right now.
Graham, you look like the guy that should be studying COVID, the professor somewhere in the Netherlands. How has this affected you with your life and all that and what you do?
In some ways, not much. My job hasn't changed. I work for a very large organization, and we got about 7,000 people across three or four countries in Europe, and we got within 3 days everyone home working, nearly everyone. But the job is the same. It's just everything is slower. instead of being able to pick something up and move from here to here, I have to click on a box and send an email to someone. Someone has to do something, send it back to me. Then I've got to edit it and blah. It's not.
Okay.
The
I
job
think I missed
hasn't
this, but what type of
changed,
work do you do?
It's just more complicated and slower.
Graham, what do you do exactly?
I'm a team manager in the European Patent Office, basically. I've got 20 people working for me of about, I don't know, 10 nationalities. I'm trying to keep everything flowing with these guys. And some of them are in Belgium, some of them are in Ireland, some in Germany, some here in the Netherlands.
Constance, what about
What
you?
type
How
of-
it's affected you in terms of, the U of A is always bustling. You can go and see people, young people, old people, and kind of have conversations. I'm sure you miss that.
Oh, I do very much. I actually was on campus today because I had to pick up some stuff from my office. And it was just, there was nobody in our building. There was nobody around. What I did see is a lot of facilities management people. So the people who are working on maintenance and who are having actually the opportunity without having to work around people to fix things and to maintain things. But the university has also, because we're losing so much money from all of the entities that contribute to the income of the university, they're really cutting back. And so projects that we were expecting to be happening to our building are not. I miss my students like crazy. I mean, I have students that we're supposed to graduate next month, and I was planning a big party for them, and they won't. And now we're trying to figure out what we can do for them in this time and in this space that will give them some feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction and, goal achievement.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
No question. Blah, you are unfair. You have a companion with you. None of us have companions. I'm sure that's helped. I'm sure that's helped you kind of move along. I don't know. I'm not a dog guy. I'm not a pet guy. How does that help to make? Oh, hey! Wait a second.
Sharing a pets?
Turn into a pet store here. How is having somebody with you, something with you, and maybe enjoy? Look at everybody. How has that been for you, Blair, and in the Big Bend of Portland or Oregon?
Say that again about the pet.
How has that helped you move on? With maybe having something with you.
Oh man, I love it. I work about 4 hours a day part-time for a gal, and he sits either across my lap or next to me, and he's my little shadow. I love it. Mm-hmm. But I also have a husband and a son here that but it's great. I love having a dog.
Let's kind of move from that in the stress area where everyone has stress, whether it's job or cut jobs or furloughs or whatever. How have you dealt with the stress? Are you in stress right now? Brenda, you?
Yeah, initially when it first started, of course, for me, it was like the stress of, I've owned my business since 2007. I started it in the crash, time frame, and I built this baby up and, put my heart and soul into it. And, I saw myself in a place where, gosh, I could just go like that, and so that's been super stressful to me, knowing that, people that work for me may not be working and everything drives off of that, and so that's been really stressful. Another stressful thing for me has just been knowing that you can give this to someone without having symptoms. And so that to me has been really stressful, because it's like when you're around people you care about, it's like you don't, like you want to see them and you want to be with them, but you don't want to give them anything, and that's been really stressful for me too.
Let me say this. I've been quarantining for 40 some years. I don't get close to anybody or otherwise. So I'm good here. Sean, for you, although you're kind of succeeding in this mess, or at least getting business from it, or potentially, how have you been stressed?
Well, if there's ever a time to really practice gratitude each and every day, and I think that's before all this, it was something that whenever I had something good come by, always, said thank you, to the universe or whatever you want to do without getting too philosophical for anything. And again, I'm not downplaying it. It's not that I'm not taking this serious. And maybe I'm totally wrong about this, but as bad as we have it now, we still got it better than 99% of the population out there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that, especially the restaurant industry, and I get it, I totally understand it, but we still have it better than the dude that was born in Manila in the trash city and who's never experienced a hot meal in his life. You know what I mean? So again, I feel for the students who can't graduate. I feel for that. I do. I don't want to sound like I'm unempathetic or unsympathetic. At the same time, I wouldn't change what we're going through versus the person in the middle of,
absolutely
country. You know what I mean?
You are absolutely correct, Sean. It's all about perspective.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And I really do empathize with each buddy here. I empathize with Graham and everybody around the world. I do. But we still got it okay. I'm still in my office. I've got a couple $1,000s worth of equipment. I got a freaking Challenger in the parking lot. I'm doing okay. Do I miss seeing people? Do I miss seeing my daughters? Hell yeah, I do. It kills me. But we'll get through this. It's going to make us all stronger.
Renu, you talked about this earlier with your wedding planning stuff and a lot of festivities that you deal with. Have you kind of had to, I don't know, they're going to come back if in fact they do eventually get married, or you're hoping so. How has this whole thing stressed you out? And we're still in the early stages.
So in a lot of ways, because that way, like, I always feel like my business is a business that is a middle ground. So I hire florists and photographers and cake decorators and wedding dress makers. So every single one, it's a chain reaction. When this shit hits the fan, everybody is out of a job. All of us have to reinvent ourselves. And not many people can say they can do that and make a living. So I don't know. It's just it's scary times. And I'm friends with a lot of people in the hospitality industry. And the hospitality is like, that's the last thing you're like, okay, so we need necessities. We need to eat, we need to drink, we need to have a place to live. And hospitality is the last thing that people have money to give to. So.
Graham, again, I don't want to tease you, but your pulse is probably steady as always, just kind of steady. You look like that guy. Have you been stressed at all? Has your income been affected? Or what has affected you the most?
Well, my income has not been affected in any way whatsoever. The only impact financially has been that I can't spend my money. I do like to
Can
go
you
out.
adopt me?
Wait. We will give you opportunities to spend your money.
Can you adopt me anytime you'd like to? I can move to the Netherlands. No problem.
Exactly.
You could all come visit. It's a very nice country. What was the question again?
No, just how it's affected you, and it really hasn't.
Not financially, no, but sort of socially, I miss getting together with my friends. There's been birthdays that we've tried to do online, and it's just not the same thing.
Right.
Sitting in front of a computer with a beer isn't the same as going to a bar.
Very true.
What about you? In terms of, we talked about your pets and how stable, at least emotionally, you can be and how they helped. How has it affected you in any way?
My husband and I are both working. He is in construction and is staying busy. And I'm just working. It was a little adjustment for me, just not being able to go out, going to the store or whatever. But it really, I love being at home, but having to be home is another story. So I've gotten into a routine thanks to the company that Jana works with. I've been doing a lot of exercise, which is great. I love it. I'm doing more than I did when I was, at the club. So that's been good. I love it. But
some of the restrictions are happening maybe in the next week or so, maybe the next few weeks. We can go out and maybe do some things and possibly or go to work. What give me some predictions. What's going to happen in maybe in the next 2 months, 3 months? Will it be 6 months at the turn of the new year?
Wow.
Brenda, give me that, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead, Renew.
Okay, cool. You know what? If people are smart, this is how it's going to roll out. And I think it's going to roll out with early May being retail. And retail following the same suit that grocery stores doing. So like 25% occupancy, they walk in and we're going to spread it out. And then maybe June we have restaurants. But restaurants are not going to be 100%, like everybody sits there. So it'll be like 25% of their occupancy. So if you have a small place, you have 85% people occupancy, maybe 15, 20 people at a time, space and tables. From there, I'm thinking we might see bars spread out. From there, event centers like my place, probably 6 months out. From there, I'm thinking concerts, venues, festivals, a year and a half. So 2021 fall, we'll probably.
Well, he kind of blanked out. But you saw yesterday, Constance, that the president of the university said that he doesn't anticipate the football season going on, possibly the basketball season being delayed until the next year, 2021. People in this town live with that stuff. They eat that stuff, maybe even though the football team sucks. But you know what I mean? It's going to be a while before like the real world starts to hit, and
Right.
you get back to maybe, you and your loved one are 6 seats apart from each other. Hey, do you want some popcorn? Yeah, here. But do you think that could happen?
I think it can happen. I think it's going to happen. If people are going to want to gather, if they don't want to get sick again, and if they don't want to have hot spots happening, then they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to practice that distance. Yeah.
Be smart. Hey, real quick, Sean, for you, you're missing baseball. You might miss baseball the rest of the summer.
I know. And it's, I hope they play the games just to kind of lift people's spirits up. I know it's going to be odd watching a game because, without the crowd there, but before we just came on, I was watching the NFL draft. It was totally different. It didn't have the hype of the field, but it was something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would like to see them play an abbreviated season, without the fans, maybe for a year. And then, but I think from the general population, I think a lot of us kind of like getting the delivery, getting the takeout, using Amazon. It's introduced maybe like the older generation to how easy and how convenient it is.
Oh my goodness, yes.
To have stuff delivered. So I think a lot of people, one, are going to be a lot more healthy, a lot more conscientious of what they're putting in and on their bodies. But I also think it's going to be a mixture where, there are going to be some people going out. I know I'm going to go out to, my favorite dive bars again. I miss it. But I also think a lot of people kind of like staying home, are going to kind of, that I think the restaurants and some of the breweries and distilleries have done a phenomenal job in pivoting, and you can call ahead and order your kit and go home and be with a few friends. So I think it's going to be a combination of the two.
Let me say this. I grant the world the next 3 months, okay, and in July 1, we're all good and safe to go. How many of you guys are going to go out and do what you used to do? And I say that in taking the chance that what you used to do to making sure that everything's okay.
So I have a mother who's about to turn 89 years old in Washington, D.C. And I want to be with her, but I have to figure out how I'm going to go 2 weeks in advance, isolate myself, quarantine myself, then spend 2 weeks with her, but I can't do it any other way.
Whether it's tomorrow or in another 3 months.
Right.
Right. You don't want to be that guy to go out and say, "Oh, it's all safe," and then it's the canary in the cave. It's the canary in the cave. You don't want to be the canary in the cave.
Right. Right.
Anybody going to take a chance and do some stuff that maybe they say it's okay to do?
It might not be easy to do anything because I like traveling. City breaks in Europe are very close by. Venice is 2 hours away, but there might not be any airlines to take us there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've got to get my daughter to California for the fall semester when she starts university, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Sean, you get free tickets to the Dodgers game in August. You gonna go with people?
I'll go by myself, but I'll sit at the very top. I'll be conscientious.
August, I'll go.
Yeah, Renew looks like a changer. He'd do it no problem. No, I know. I think that's the scary part. I mean, when do you actually want to take your chance on your life? Make sure that everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, let's transition into something that's probably most important. How has this affected your relationships, whether with close people, with lovers, with friends, with people that you love to see all the time? Janet?
Wow.
Janet?
I have 2 children. One's in Phoenix right now, and the other one left LA and is in Tucson. At least she's around people that love her, but it's horrendous because I can't get to my kids. So that's been, I think, harder than anything. My son works for Southwest, so there's that similar issue with I'm worried about his health.
Sure.
I can usually just jump on a plane and go see them easily, and now I can't get them, they can't get to me. They're invincible, at 23 and 25, they think they're healthy, there's no problem kind of thing. And then work, I'm a very social person, so not having all my people around has been awful,
Mm-hmm.
I dance with large groups of people. Now I dance in my living room, with a screen full of people. It's very different.
Yeah, Renew?
Kind of side note, I was just saying that Brad and I were talking about this, like the invincible thing. You think this virus is only for the elderly and the young. There's been studies and everything's happening. Young people actually dying from this.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is, like, your immune system actually works against you. If you have a strong immune system and you're young and healthy and an athlete, you can flood your lungs with attacking that virus that will actually take you out. Mm-hmm. So we're all, we're all in the same boat together. Like, it doesn't matter if you're old or young. Yeah, of course, if you're feeble, you're gonna, you're gonna hurt more. But we all can die.
I assume that some of you guys are married. Jana, maybe Constance, maybe Blea. No. So maybe going out and having dinner with some friends, maybe a companion or whatever. You probably missed opportunities because we've been held hostage for maybe 40 some days.
Yeah. So I've been dating, and that's a really interesting thing because you can only get so
dating during
close.
This stuff?
Interestingly enough, yes.
Okay.
You can meet somebody.
COVIDdating.com. We're doing this.
Exactly. You can meet somebody and sit, 6 feet away from them. You can have a conversation. But there's no hugging of friends or people who are closer than friends. It's just weird. I'm a hugger.
Did he bring you some toilet tissue and hand sanitizer when he first met you?
He brought wipes for the table, and he brought flowers. So.
A gentleman. Nice.
You know
what about you, Graham? And I'll ask Sean later because I know Sean's single.
Did he lay the flowers down and you had to go pick them up?
He did. He did.
I usually bring
fantastic.
I usually bring wipes to on the date, but not for that reason.
That's too much information. So, Graham, are you just hunkered down, or what's your situation in terms of life with people, friends, stuff like that?
Well, friends, I very rarely actually see anybody face to face, which is a bit of a bummer because I'm quite social and I like to go out. I like to have drinks. I like to eat out. Love life, you might as well forget about that. It's on pause. Mm-hmm. Nothing can be done. I'm reluctant to leave the country in case they close the border somewhere and I'm stuck. I just about got out of Madrid in time for that one. I was with a friend in Madrid and we were going out together. If I'd been there maybe a few more days with her, then we would still be in Madrid, locked in an apartment, which might be good, might be bad, who knows.
Depends on what kind of friend she is.
That's right.
Brenda, you live with your kids, right, Brenda?
Yes, I do. Yeah. So
that helps you. You haven't lost that yet.
well, my 2 daughters are with me, and so I'm lucky to have them here, and that's been great. My son is in Texas, so I was going to go visit him right before all this happened, and so now I don't know when I'm going to be able to see him, so I miss him desperately. But yeah, so that sort of thing. I mean, I see people once in a while, that sort of thing. But as far as dating, if you consider dating like standing at your window looking outside and checking out the Amazon guy, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it.
There's no truth to the rumor you're going to have a fire in the house just to have the firemen come to you.
That might happen, Steve. I don't know.
And Sean, you've lost all this weight. What's good does it do if no women can see you?
Well, furthermore, when I'm on Zooms, I don't wear any pants either. So that's my dating right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey.
No, it's Steve, dude. I mean, it's, oh my God. It's like I just want to like, it's horrible. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, along those lines too, what have you learned about yourself that you didn't know you had inside you until this happened?
That's still on me or somebody?
Whoever. We'll start with Constance.
Me. I'll do it.
Go.
So I actually learned that I'm better at home by myself than I thought I was.
So that date didn't last long then?
What's that?
The date didn't last long.
Well, no, it was a 6 foot apart date. But no, I've got the cat, I've got my little house, and it's comfortable, and I have enough space to do all the things that I want. I've got the sewing machine behind me. I've got the jewelry making over here. I've got my office over here, got a TV and a couch, got a nice kitchen. It's okay.
Cool. What about you, Blair? What did you learn about yourself?
That with all this extra time, I still don't like cleaning my house.
That's the truth.
It's still a mess. I'm trying. But yeah, I like the routine. I kind of like this, having a little routine and being home.
Nice. Jana?
I think there's positives, a lot of positives in this. I know people are going stir crazy, but I think it helps you take stock of where you've been spending your money, where you were spending your time, where you were wasting your time. Sean said he's getting more work done. I've been figuring out new ways to do business. I'm reading a lot more. I'm taking a lot more photos. I'm hiking like crazy. Anybody that knows me can tell you what my Facebook page looks like lately. I think there's a lot of benefits to the environment. So I don't know. I think just getting in touch with yourself. Maybe you're not supposed to be connecting to a bunch of people. You're just supposed to reconnect with yourself. That's what I think.
It's a good point.
I want to put that on a bumper sticker. That's
good point.
Yeah.
What about Graham? What about you? What did you learn?
Well, at first I thought I was going to go kind of mad. The first week I thought, how the hell am I going to get through this? But I seem to be adapting, which surprised me. So I guess I was more flexible than I thought I would be.
Nice. What about you, Sean?
It's just kind of, like a reintroduction to yourself again. Just kind of, you get to know yourself a lot more. Taking, a lot of walks throughout my day, and just being more introspective and just kind of just challenge myself a lot more than I thought I could really do, So I started an ebook. I started a few other things that I didn't think I was going to ever get to for the next, year or 2 years. So I guess just the amount of stuff that I'm doing at once, I didn't think I really could do. To be honest.
What about you, Renew?
Lots of good things, but I could deal with stress. I learned early on that life goes on and we'll all survive. So good things. I mean, I will end this segment with some good positive things that I've worked on, but definitely building good connections. Even if it's just like this, like we're talking right now with us right now. So just building good connections, giving a positive attitude, making things work. It's a good reset for everybody. Realistically, it's crazy for the environment. I think somebody touched on that, to just our world in general. Sorry.
No, that's cool. That's good. That's good. You'll end this segment at the end. I know you have a list of things you want to talk about real quick. Brenda, what have you learned about yourself?
Kind of the same thing as Connie. I was kind of a social butterfly, prior to this, and doing things every day and every night, and keeping myself really, really busy. And now I have so much quiet time, and I'm finding that I'm okay with it, and it's great. And so that's been one big thing that I've learned about myself. I've also I'm a big picture person. And so learning to kind of take things day by day has been a new thing for me, and I'm kind of liking it and digging that too. So that's been a good thing for me too. So kind of those two things have been the things that have resonated with me so far. That inner peace, quiet time, and just learning about myself. And I think we forget to do that. And this has been a good opportunity to really take the time to be able to do that.
For me, real quick, I just confirmed to me that I like being by myself, and everyone leaves me alone. So COVID, what? There was a COVID? I didn't know that. Really? So let's maybe just end this segment with a quick, what good has come from it? Although we kind of went there already with Sean's stuff and everybody else's. So let's go to Renew and his little list of things that he has found from this whole COVID-19 timeframe.
Can I go two directions?
Go.
You guys have time?
Yeah.
Two directions.
We're a captive audience.
All right, cool. So just gonna say, like, something that I posted was like kind of probably should have started with this, but it's okay. We'll end good, promise. So just saying, one thing I posted was like early April 2020. Over 28 million people are applying for unemployment. Everybody's checking the bank accounts to see if there's a $1,200 check that might be deposited. If so, you felt like you won the lottery. Millions of middle-class families are waiting in line in food banks to feed their children. Everybody is wearing masks and gloves when they go outside. Businesses have been around for 10, 20, 50 years. And they're having to close. Loved ones are dying completely alone. Elderly families are unable to see their loved ones. Morning reports of the sick and dead are growing exponentially. The political divide in our country is also growing exponentially, and it's being fueled by the media and by social media. I can go on for hours, but I just yearn for the day that I can look at this post and shed a single tear and say, I'm so glad this is over. Stay healthy, stay strong, my friends, till we can toast again. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Sorry, I don't want to end on a sad note, so keep rolling, and I'll end on a good note.
And on a good note.
Another good note, you're buying when we all together.
I'm buying it?
Yes, at some point.
Kidding. You want me to? Okay. So,
well,
I
good
have
show.
positive things that we can do.
Good show. I know we had to kind of go with COVID because that's where the situation we're in now. We'll go into relationships and love and lost love and things like that down the road. Is that right, Brenda?
That is right. We have.
Okay.
Renee, did you want to say something really quick about
Can you do the positives?
Positives? Yeah. Go ahead, really quick. Go ahead, really quick. Yeah.
Really, really quick.
Yep.
I gotta roll with that. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'll just go off the cuff. So, anyways, I just want people to do things that are positive. So while we're home, isolated at home, you can do a lot of good things. You can read a book. You can write a book. You can walk your dogs. You can get healthy. You can energize your mind, energize your life. You can be a better person just by being an introvert a little bit. It's just kind of like living what you want to be. Take care of yourself. You can reinvent your business. You can look at your marketing strategies. You can build a new business. You can do amazing things. All we want to do is like take this time, enjoy, rebuild. Hopefully, if you ever need help, there's people that help out. And what I love about this is people care. People care. If you're in need, there is people that will help out. And I love this. I see it every day. The poorest of the poor are getting helped right now. And we think about that. So take time, look at your life, reflect, enjoy. Please stay positive. That's all you got to do, stay positive. So cheers, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rena.
Brenda?
Yeah, so we're going to be releasing a couple of interviews I did with Michelle Fraley, and talking about stress management during this time, and then another video with Beth Kyle talking about stress eating and how to deal with those topics. So they have some really good tips and techniques to deal with all those things. So keep an eye out on that. We'll be rolling that out in the next week. And, you know, if you guys have topics that you would like to see on Midlife Single, send me a note. You can DM me or send me a message, and we'll make sure that we cover those topics. We want to make sure that we're, you know, covering topics that people want to hear and that is affecting our lives. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Constance, Renew, Sean.
Thank you, Brenda.
Steve. Thank you. Steve, thanks so
Bye.
much for hosting and moderating. Graham, it's so good to see you all the way from the Netherlands. Jana, love to see you. And Blay, nice to meet you. So until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.